it's a sad world we live in. It almost feels like the whole entire global banking system has just been pumping this bubble over and over again. China's prices are down like over 50% in some areas. You know, what's going on right now in the UK, what's going on right now in Europe, like everybody is just
Fucking nightmare everywhere.
pressed to the limits.
You know what happened in the 70s? That like a lot of what happened in the 70s and the inflation that was seen was because of the trade wars and embargoes that were going on during that time. So if you want to like think about what's going to happen if this actually happens, then it's going to be a lot more inflation, which just isn't going to be good for anybody.
Where do you think inflation is? Let's say U.S. Canada trade relationship is silky smooth. Where's inflation going from here?
I think it's going down, especially in Canada, and that's mainly happening because the economy is going down, right? People are spending less, the unemployment rate is going up. You know, you've got a lot of people coming into the country. There's not enough jobs, so there's a lot of dynamics that are going on. But overall, like demand is going down. You're seeing rents fall as well. So I think inflation is going to continue to fall, but the reality is this isn't a good thing. And this is what I say on my channel, because the reason why inflation is falling is because the Bank of Canada has come in and like just pounded the economy. And the thing is, people think that they can just unwind that and the economy is just going to inflate again like a balloon. It just doesn't work like that in reality. And you look at any historic example and it's exactly the same thing. But in this case, you've got just so many bubbles because it's not just the housing bubble, like immigration is a giant bubble in Canada, which was unsustainable. And that's also like now starting to show signs of bursting. So
Yeah.
it's like all these things seem to be coming to head at the same time. And then you got the stuff going on with the US. It's just like shit.
What about
I
the stock
wonder.
market and Bitcoin? Why are they doing so well right now?
Well, you know, the stock market never prices it in until the last moment. I mean, the bond markets, the yield curve inverted like way back in 2022, and this is going on to be like, I mean, the yield curve has uninverted now. So the reality is, normally when the yield curve uninverts, and it did so last year, it's within 6 to 12 months you're in a recession. Now, Canada has already been in a recession. Like,
For
I mean,
years.
yeah, for years since 2022. It's just purely the immigration numbers that have propped that number up.
I
So,
was gonna
I
say, what do
mean,
you think like the percentage of the GDP was over the last few years, like Alec, from all of the school scams and the immigration scams? Like how much did, right? Because did we even would we even have had any positive growth if we didn't have that shit going on? Nothing,
No,
right?
no way.
Nothing. So like how much of a difference that have we felt even the difference from that unraveling yet?
well, I think David Rosenberg, he said that even just this is just immigration. So it's not counting all the funny stuff with the schools. It's not counting all the spending from the immigration because they come in, they need to buy like furniture, all these different
They
things.
got to pay
Some
those
people are buying.
brokers thousands of dollars, right? That are bringing them in
Yeah,
and giving
yeah.
them a
So
mattress
uh,
to sleep on.
exactly, and all that's GDP. So, and I think he said it would be like -2%, and that was in the third
Whoa.
quarter of last year. So, I can't remember the number that we were at for. Maybe it was 2% year over year. So you're talking like a big difference, and then GDP is not even accurate in the first place, and this is one of my biggest things that grinds my gears. And I hope people, and the reason why I do the channel is partly because of this reason, is I hope like people through education find out the way the system works. Like all these numbers, inflation to begin with is like it's a lie. Like it's bullshit.
Yeah.
The inflation is not below 2% right now. But if we had an accurate number there, the GDP numbers that are deflated with inflation, they would be more accurate. The central planners making the policy rate decisions for interest rates, they would be more accurate. But because everything is corrupted and the whole system is corrupted, it's like doomed to
Stories.
implode on itself constantly.
Yeah.
So
It's
they
just
suppress it.
stories. And
They
like,
suppress the
Yeah.
inflation numbers.
sure they do. I
But it
mean, look,
affects.
How many people are actually in Canada right now? Like, we don't even know how many people are here. We certainly don't know how many people are unemployed or partially employed or, stealing cars for a full-time good actual living. Or I'm not kidding. Like, how much are those kids breaking into jewelry stores coming away with when they steal 18 Rolexes, right? And God knows how many diamond rings from those displays. I don't know if they're real or not, but they seem to be happening over and over and over again. These are lucrative gigs, man. I'm pretty sure. So
They sell those things for 10 cents on the dollar.
yeah, but
Who's
then
gonna buy 'em?
insurance replaces them for full pop or even probably a profit to the stores. Like, there's so many things that spin in the economy from all these other fucking crazy things, that how can we actually navigate anything with any of these stats? Because they're all wrong. Like, the M2 money supply is wrong. Every number that we see is completely fictitious. Okay. It's telling a story from somebody's perspective that they want out there for us idiots, right?
But
So
give me an example of an economy in the world right now who has the system churning right now in the right way. Give
in
me
the
an example.
right
Yeah, I
way.
can't.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Right?
How's El Salvador doing these days? They seem to be
There's a few countries right now who
they're
are starting to do
Bitcoin billionaires.
some really, far, reaching ideas in order to try to get their country on back, only because there's been so much corruption and tyranny in their countries that it's just like any little bit of positivity we're hanging on to and like, yeah, we're back on track. Let's go Argentina, But like really, like it's a sad world we live in. It almost feels like the whole entire global banking system has just been pumping this bubble over and over again. China's prices are down like over 50% in some areas. What's going on right now in the UK, what's going on right now in Europe, like everybody is just
Fucking nightmare everywhere.
pressed to the limits. Like I'm surprised Luke even found a place to go to that met his standards. To be honest, when you listen to Luke's videos, you're like, he must pick like I think he wanted to go to Singapore. Was that right?
Oh no, Singapore's way too expensive for me.
Was that the place though that you had mentioned when you had?
No, Malaysia was one
Malaysia.
of the places.
Okay.
Malaysia.
Okay, there was a place that he had mentioned, and I think you told me it was too expensive, but you said like they got it going on. So I figured wherever Luke goes, like that place has got it figured out. Canada doesn't even have it figured out. Nobody's got it figured out, right? And so our expectations of, I guess, our government are too high. And then and that interview with Pierre and Jordan Peterson's a great interview, just to see how far we've come off. Because really, you know what the benchmark is for the whole world? The U.S.
The U.S. Hey.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Are you looking for the best merch store on the planet? Well, we got the shit for you. Coming in at low prices where we barely make any money off of whatsoever, you can get the greatest real estate merchandise on this platform. Just look at this very flamboyant man putting on this great stuff. He looks great, he's dancing great, and boy does he look sexy in that merchandise. I tell you, buy this for anybody, you buy this for yourself. You will be not only repping the greatest Canadian real estate podcast in this world, but you will also be looking hella good doing it.